Today we are taking a look at Misaki Shokuhou from A Certain Scientific Railgun. This is the China dress version in the Desktop Cute line by Taito. A Certain Scientific Railgun is a spin-off of the A Certain Magical Index franchise, centering heavily on the daily mysteries explored by powerful students within the highly advanced Academy City environment. The story balances intense action sequences against their ordinary school routines. Misaki Shokuhou, widely recognized by her alias Mental Out due to her incredible psychological abilities, ranks as the 5th strongest level 5 Esper across the entire city layout. She commands significant loyalty from her peers and operates as a central, highly influential figure within the prestigious Tokiwadai Middle School community. Today's highlights focus entirely on an incredibly welcoming, winking facial expression, an intensely striking upper body design beautifully maximizing the brilliantly tailored beautiful China dress, and an exceptionally arranged, gracefully seated posture that safely visually organizes the entire presentation perfectly. The wonderfully energetic face immediately features a beautifully winking eye and an extraordinarily open smile, prominently boasting vividly large eye highlights that confidently draw the viewer's gaze directly inward easily. The remarkably striking, uniquely structured upper body seamlessly highlights a surprisingly bold central chest opening and an impressively expansive exposed back, creating magnificent visual depth cleanly and proudly. An exceptionally balanced, softly seated physical posture relies securely upon extremely deep side slits, thickly framed in crisp metallic gold, smoothly emphasizing the bare thigh contours gracefully, cleverly supporting the expansive spreading hair beautifully. This channel brings you figure reviews and anime merchandise updates straight from Japan. If you enjoyed this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe. The facial expression is immediately captivating, featuring a beautifully sculpted winking eye paired with a wonderfully open smile. The open eye draws viewers' gaze, operating as the perfect visual entry point due to the dramatically large, vividly printed highlights positioned squarely in the center. From there, soft blush lines spread downward, continuously connecting the area beneath the eyes straight into the prominently painted open mouth. Because the distinctly colored mouth interior maintains clearly visible structural depth, the incredibly cohesive facial expression goes far beyond merely appearing cute. Instead, it successfully projects the distinct, joyful feeling that she is actively and warmly speaking to the viewer, creating a remarkably strong aura of welcome. Transitioning to the hairstyle, the front sections feature fine, meticulously layered strands, creating noticeable vertical steps across her forehead. The varying tips gracefully fall beside her cheeks, effectively creating a natural, nicely contoured frame that flawlessly traces the shape of her face. When viewed from the side, the distinct separation between the strands falling in front and those flowing backward creates deep layers, emphasizing the impressive overall volume of her hair. The long hair flowing down her back spreads outward in massive sweeping clusters, with the peripheral tips curving strongly backward to project into the surrounding space. These dynamic tips smoothly transition into translucent clear parts. Additionally, a delicate white floral ornament is neatly inserted into the side of her hair. From its central fastener, 2 distinct red tassels gracefully hang down, separated by an intricate gold band that adds a pleasing visual rhythm. This elegant combination flawlessly overlaps against the vibrant yellow surface, establishing a strong focal point of color positioned right beside her face to deeply enhance the inherent brightness and joyful energy perfectly. The upper outfit prominently features a deep triangular black collar, bordered by a brightly painted gold line that heavily emphasizes the sharp transition between the crisp fabric and her bare skin. Because the collar tips converge downward toward her chest, the viewer's gaze flows smoothly from her neck into the highly detailed central area. The delicate chest section features a crisp white surface traced meticulously by another bright gold line, gathering securely in the center to form an elegant knot shape before seamlessly connecting to the striking square opening positioned immediately below it. This specific square section is completely open, revealing her bare skin underneath, while the crisp outer edges forcefully stand up to create a highly realistic three-dimensional opening with remarkable depth. The bright white fabric composing the main torso effortlessly continues its smooth flow from just below her chest, gracefully down toward her waist. Furthermore, decorative gold knots are neatly arranged vertically along her side, introducing pleasing structural steps directly into the white surface to efficiently break up any potential visual monotony. The physical transitions across this surface are exceptionally well handled. The fabric visibly tightens securely right beneath her chest before gently expanding again as it smoothly approaches her waistline, excellently communicating entirely how tightly the dress adheres to her natural body contours perfectly. The deeply open back boldly exposes her skin down to the upper waist, successfully serving as a massive visual release of surface area that perfectly balances the tightly concentrated focus originally built by the rigid collar. Both slender arms are elegantly covered by long white gloves. One arm is playfully raised proudly above her forehead, with the fingers spreading widely outward, while the opposite hand delicately holds a small remote control vividly. The remote cleverly serves as a highly effective supplementary prop placed cleanly near her chest wonderfully. The most striking element of the lower body is the expansive bare thigh surface dramatically revealed through the deep side slits. Because the sides of the dress open widely and the crisp edges are explicitly traced by vivid gold lines, the structural lines effectively frame the contours of her thighs, heavily emphasizing the bold forward projection of her legs beautifully. The smooth, sweeping surfaces of her thighs gently rise and smoothly fall toward her knees, creating an unbroken physical flow that survives perfectly despite the seated posture, thanks entirely to the visual clearance provided by the elegant side slits. A heavily layered front drape elegantly overlaps the main dress, specifically across the front section, utilizing a thick gold border to meticulously divide the crisp white surfaces completely into clearly defined distinctive zones dynamically. This front drape explicitly generates two highly distinct layers, the base white torso surface and the overlapping front panel, increasing overall depth efficiently. As the fabric travels downward, deeply sculpted wrinkles carefully emerge. The valleys flow seamlessly along curved lines, allowing effortless reading of her hips precisely. The overlapping front drape and meticulous wrinkle placement successfully construct a continuous flow from her stomach smoothly down to her waist. Meanwhile, the back section transitions actively from the massive open back straight into the soft curves of her hips, providing uniquely enjoyable structural displays from every possible side gracefully. Her beautifully slender legs stretch gently forward in a highly relaxed, entirely natural manner. This arrangement securely ensures her bare thighs remain wonderfully visible, while the sharp outer boundaries of her legs explicitly remain preserved perfectly. The brilliantly painted white stockings cleanly reach an exceptionally high position directly on her thighs, and a sharp, seamless horizontal separation line perfectly divides bare skin from fabric. Executing this transition makes the deep side slits significantly more impactful. The precise transition line combined with the smooth, continuous flow of the stocking surface adhering strictly to her natural curves operates wonderfully as the primary structural element, elevating the leg presentation beautifully. This figure is approximately 13 centimeters tall, that's about 5.1 inches. For size comparison, here's a 350 milliliter can, that's about 12 ounces in the US. Overall, Misaki Shokuhou in Desktop Cute by Taito stands out remarkably for its welcoming facial expression, a striking upper body design, and a dynamic seated posture. Because the large highlights inside the open eye pull the viewer's gaze upward, and the deep coloring inside the open mouth supports the brightness of the smile. The highly energetic aura of the facial expression refuses to fade even when closely inspected. The sculpted front hair elegantly falls to trace the contours of her face, while the massive clusters flowing down her back gracefully expand to occupy the surrounding space, ensuring her head maintains a prominent presence despite the seated posture. The smart transition integrating the solid yellow tips into translucent clear parts allows the volume of her hair to proudly remain intact while lightening the edges, dynamically utilizing the backward curving strands to establish a sharp external silhouette. The tailored upper body utilizes the triangular collar and crisp gold borders to pull focus tightly inward toward the center. Here, the standing edges of the sharp square opening create realistic shadows against her skin, proving the central highlight operates as a fully three-dimensional feature. The open back explicitly generates a massive structural release, contrasting the concentrated focus established entirely on the front. The exposed thighs, dramatically revealed through the deep side slits, remain the absolute focal point across the arranged lower posture. The flawlessly drawn gold lines fiercely tracing the edges emphasize the forward projection of her legs, while the carved wrinkles flowing smoothly down from her waist accurately communicate the soft curves hidden beneath the fabric. By utilizing the layered front drape to build depth alongside smooth transitions, connecting her exposed back directly to her rounded hips, the sculpted viewing angles shift depending heavily on the perspective. Because of that, fans of a Certain Scientific Railgun or Misaki Shokuhou will definitely enjoy this piece. With that focus, collectors who appreciate a welcoming facial expression, a striking upper body design, and a dynamic seated posture should find it a worthy addition. That's it for this video. If there's any part of the figure you liked, feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.